Hi, my name is Jacob, and today I wanted to start you off with a picture. So this is a map of Antarctica, and as you can see here, there's a small yellow circle. And you're probably confused on why I have a small circle here. Well, that represents the 3% of ice that is covered in urine by penguins in Antarctica. It's crazy how there's that much urine. But when you have that many penguins, it's a lot. So today I'm going to be discussing the penguins that breed there in Antarctica, which are two species, the Adelie and Emperor. And lately I've been researching them, and what I've come across is just fascinating on the things that they do to survive, and also their habitat and what they do to eat, and also when they breed, and also when they keep the eggs warm. So when we start out with the Adelie, we have a picture of them here. They're relatively small. They're about 2.3 feet tall, and you can see right here that this one's sliding. But they're relatively small, and they've been known to dive about 500 feet below to find prey and eat. And yeah, that's the Adelie. And they're also the most widespread penguin across Antarctica. There's roughly 7,580,000 of them, which is a lot. And yeah, that's the Adelie. They're relatively small, and I've also heard that they're aggressive. So if you ever see one in Antarctica, I wouldn't charge it because it might charge you back. All right, right here is the Emperor penguin, and it's a lot larger. It's the largest penguin in the world, and you see that they have a lot more colors. There's yellow at the collar, and this one also is sliding, having some fun. And their average height is actually 3.75 feet, which if I stood up, that would be just a little bit more than halfway, which is really tall. It's a big penguin. And they weigh up to 88 pounds, so that's a big penguin. And they've actually been known to dive up to 1,850 feet, so that's really deep. And then right here, we have both of them looking down. And it's just a funny picture I found. So now when we look at the habitat, it's Antarctica, which is the largest desert in the world. And when I say that, I don't mean just sand and everything. It's the largest desert because everything's so dry there, and it's cold. It's the coldest place in the world, and wind chills get all the way down to negative 76 degrees Fahrenheit. And to survive those, the penguins have to do something. And when you look at the Adelie penguins, they actually they migrate toward the outer edges of Antarctica, where there's smaller glaciers and they're almost like islands, and they spend the winters in the sea because they like the water a lot more, and they stay warm and do that. And they also, later when I talk about breeding, you'll understand why. But also, when you look at the Emperor penguins, they stay inland, and to stay warm, they actually huddle up together. I'm sure you've always known that, but this is the penguin that you always see that's huddled up next to each other, and one goes in, and then once they're warmed up, they go to the outside to get others warm, and that's how they survive the frigid cold temperatures. So when you look at the diet, they both eat small sea creatures, which they eat small shrimp-like organisms, and then also small fish about that big. And then when you look at their breeding, the Adelie penguins, like I said before, they move toward the edges and on small islands around Antarctica to stay warmer because of the sea and everything. But in order to, or they go that way, but they go to the rocky areas, and when they go there, there's colonies of them, like a ton, probably just like the emperors, but they have colonies on the rocks. And when they do this, they have the pebbles, they have little pebbles, and they make nests with them. And that's where they lay their eggs, and the male and the female take turns covering the eggs and making sure they stay warm. And when they need to go get food, sometimes they have to go up to 30 miles to find water, because by the time they get to the rocky area, the ocean is getting colder and colder, so that means it's going to freeze. So sometimes it freezes up to 30 miles, so this little 2-foot penguin's going to have to go 30 miles to get food for their little penguin family. So when you look at the emperors, they are very hardcore too. Except they don't take turns. It's the female will lay the egg, then the male will cover the egg, and the male will stay over the egg for 2 months before it even hatches, and the female will come back with a full stomach. The male has not moved for 2 months, and he's on an empty stomach for that long. And she comes back and will regurgitate the food to give to the young and to the male. So that's how the emperors do it. And a fun fact when you look back at the slides I showed earlier, something that they like to do for fun or just for efficiency is they like to slide on their stomachs, and that could be helpful just if they wanted to slide into the ocean or anything like that. And what I want you guys to take home is just to know just to get a bigger view of the world, and know that on the south end of the earth that there are penguins waiting 2 months to get food and for their offspring to hatch. And it's just crazy because it's that far away, but yet it's still happening. And it's just yeah, I will strengthen up the conclusion and review of main points. I will take care of that.